May 29th, 2025. Uh, I, I just keep waking up earlier than I want to, but that's okay. I slept well anyway, and I did not hear back from my client for the job tomorrow in Washington or right away, so I just was kind of assuming they probably were moving the shoot or whatever, and so I took my time to continue packing, kind of get everything organized correctly. I needed to go back to the storage unit to pick up some things that I neglected to pick up yesterday. So I went and did that, and then went and got some Chick-fil-A before hitting the road. And it was my first time going into the Chick-fil-A there in Lehigh, near my storage unit. Oh gosh, there we are. That was weird. Oh, now I'm kind of short. Maybe that's why that crashes. Yeah. So, yeah, when I went into the Chick-fil-A, it was like, I guess it was lunchtime, so I guess that would make sense why it would be busier. It was totally packed inside. I mean, every time I've been there, I've never been inside, so I usually go to the drive-thru, and it's a packed drive-thru, which is pretty normal for Chick-fil-A in general. But man, I went inside because I needed to wash my hands after going to the storage unit. Every time I'm shifting stuff around in there, handling boxes and stuff, it's just so dusty. My hands just get all covered in dust and dirt. So I was like, well, I'll just go in and eat, I don't need to do this drive-through style. And I wasn't in a hurry to get on the road, so I went in and so I could use the bathroom, wash my hands, whatever. The whole place was just packed. I mean, like, almost every seat was occupied. There was, the whole entire place. It was kind of wild. Anyway, interesting, I guess, to me. I just haven't seen that. So it was, whatever. Chick-fil-A's delicious. Why not? So I got on the road, probably a little after noon, I guess around 12:31, something like that. And then I finally heard back from the client about tomorrow, and they bumped to the middle of next week. So that's fine. I'll just, do that. And then also that enables me to I don't have to hurry to Washington today. So I just kind of dragged along and took my time and enjoyed the scenery and just traveled the way that I really like to travel, which is kind of at my own pace. I'm still in Oregon. I'm gonna crash just past Pendleton, I think. Yeah, just a little ways past Pendleton, almost to Washington, actually. But I think I'll just sleep here for the night, just however long I sleep. It probably won't even be that long. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable sleeping in the car, but well, we'll see. We'll see when I wake up. Doesn't really matter. And then I'll get moving and get my own pace going for tomorrow. Today I remembered, I think maybe when I'm driving and I'm traveling, I just listen to podcasts, so I get to think a little more deeply about things, less about the hustle and bustle of life, a little more about whatever topics, come up on the podcasts and whatever. And they kind of inspired some thoughts for me. Although, the one kind of thought I wrote down in my little daily topics note wasn't any specific topic, really, but it was more along the lines of what I think about what I do here, I guess, in my vlog, but also if I were how I kind of think about interacting with people in general, and the phrase, I guess it would be better if I thought I would remember it, but the way I wrote it down is a little more concise or clear about the thought that I was having. And let's see. Sorry about, man, I'm just bad at this delay here. I wrote it down like this. It says, "It is my job to learn from others what I might be doing wrong, but also to help others to learn what could be better ways of approaching life." And I guess I was thinking about that in the context of, sometimes I watch these online debates, and the debaters are very clearly uninterested in actually learning from each other and more interested in trying to force learning upon the other person, or I'm not even sure what what the motive entirely is, other than to just win the argument. And I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good points to be made. I enjoyed seeing the debates in general. We as the viewers kind of are a little more benefited than either of the debaters are, for sure, as we get to kind of explore the worldviews and concepts presented by each of the debaters. But I think about, like, if I were in that position of being in a debate, it's, I guess, my nature to be more diplomatic. I think whatever my upbringing has done for me has taught me to behave in a more diplomatic way, and even to be more interested in seeing the perspective of others. And I think kind of learn from others, I guess, their perspective. But also I do endeavor to teach and help people kind of learn to be better and do better. So I guess that's kind of what drove the genesis of that thought, I think. Just, not that I'm expecting I will be getting in online debates with people or having debates ever, but I guess just the thought about how I like to understand people's perspectives. It helps me understand what motivates and moves them in whatever direction they move. When I see people presenting things that seem so clearly, I don't know, not positive, or clearly bad, negative, those kinds of beliefs, usually it makes me think that they mostly just have not been taught, or not been exposed to a worldview that sees things in a different way, in the more correct way. I'm not saying I'm correct about everything, or even most things, but just seeing, it's like lack of exposure to alternate ways of thinking, or lack of empathy or sympathy for other people's human experience and what motivates them. And I mean, some of that, I mean, I think about like kids in college that are sort of indoctrinated by the more left-leaning political agenda just because the college campuses are often kind of filled with people that espouse those beliefs. And I don't think there's anything wrong with people teaching the beliefs they believe are true, but I think it's unfortunate that the people teaching those beliefs, and I think it happens on both sides of the spectrum, that they tend to misunderstand the motivations of the other side so much that they don't understand how to describe why the opposite view exists. I think about kind of what happened with my dad. Like, he was so politically on the right side that he was exceptionally blinded to the positive motivations people on the left side have for believing what they believe. He could not even see that there is a positive reason for thinking in those ways. And that was just a huge blind spot in his understanding and his motivations and in his belief about why people do whatever they do. I think being exposed to those ideas, is the countering ideas to what you believe, is important. I think it also enhances and informs your own ideas more structurally stable, in a more structurally stable way. I think so many people kind of start leaning one way and then just start believing one way without really examining the whys of those beliefs. They just kind of ride the feeling that carries that direction, that makes sense, that kind of confirms whatever they think about or have thought about, or whatever they believe is good, without really examining the whys that they even believe that way, or what the implications are. Anyway, I think this all basically, anyway, what I think is this all leads back to my thought that my job in the way I interact with people is to learn from them what they believe, which informs my own beliefs, and then also to help others learn what I believe might be a good way, might be the better way, might be the worst way even, but that at least they can inform their worldview based on the experience that I have had, and I can be informed by theirs. I guess the call to action related to all this is to essentially never expect that what you believe is 100% correct. To next time you engage with somebody in a conversation of ideas, in whatever manner that comes, whether you're talking with them or whether this is an online forum where people yell at each other that way, or even just communicate that way, and really lead yourself into that conversation under the premise that you could be wrong and that they could be right, and also that even if you are right, that they may not understand, even if they could accept what you're saying and change their mind to understand whatever way you're trying to teach them that might be the right way, that they kind of have to learn it for themselves anyway, often through experience. Things you can just tell a person in a conversation without painting a very clear picture through real world experience that they have already had, which is difficult. You'd have to kind of understand a lot about their life without helping to kind of carry them through your perspective in their own experience. They will likely have to experience it themselves. Data will not change their minds. Data does not change people. It is experience that changes people. So I guess that call to action was very muddled and lengthy, but just take it all for a grain of salt. With a grain of salt. As a grain of salt. Anyway, whatever. With a grain of salt. That you may be wrong. What a challenge. What a fun challenge. All right. I've blabbered on enough. I've posted, and then as you've seen, I've added a bunch of B-roll from my trip, my travel today. It's very beautiful. I enjoy sunsets a lot, so that's why I filmed a lot of that. All right. Hopefully y'all had a good one. Until next time, take it easy.